Hey everyone out there and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Wake Up Right on the QDN Network. I am your host, Lareina Smallwood, here with my co-host and friend, Jason Bryant. We're glad to have you tune back in with us for another edition. We just want to talk to you today just about some topics that are going on in the world, going on in our city, and just the things that are circulating around in the news right now. We just wanted to cover, give our inputs and facts, and we look forward to seeing what you have to say to comment on those. But what we would like to start with first, Jason, what I found pretty interesting, I want to talk about the AI controversy. Phoenix Inker, the 20-year-old, actually we're in April now, so last year, April, he was convicted of murdering two college students from Florida State University and saying that AI told him how to basically commit the perfect murder.
Assisted him.
Gave him the best time of day, how to do it, the ammunition to use. So I wanted to talk about that because we're in a society now where AI is becoming everything. We talk to, ChatGPT or Siri or whomever, the different platforms that you can use. Not only do we glean information from those systems for knowledge, but it never crossed my mind to use it for something so sinister.
It's never crossed your mind because you're not crazy.
Sinister?
Right. Sinister, right? It's like, I don't know, it's like a knife in the kitchen. You can either use it to chop up an onion and make a delicious meal or stab somebody with. And, AI is a huge tool developed by mankind. As you say, use it for a lot of good things. I personally use it for a lot of planning and doing things that I wouldn't want to do manually. So it's a great tool, but it's just, if it falls into the wrong hands, it can be used for sinister, like you said, sinister reasons. Back when AI was first starting, like 2023, 2024, these executives who were creating the AI models were trying to put themselves directly in front of Congress proactively to say, listen, we got something crazy on the horizon happening right now. We need to go ahead and start talking about regulations because we know it's going to need some, because we're talking about unlimited access to information and potential here, and AI acting as almost as a human in terms of the way it's talking to you and providing that information. But what are we to do as society? What do we do for someone who's going to use a tool that can be used for a lot of good, but they decide to use it for bad?
So I think that's the issue and the concern. Because it's basically programmed to think like us, talk like us. I was watching something on Netflix the other day where people are actually in AI relationships. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but just to show how deep this goes. It's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So we got to stay focused here, but I already want to go so many different directions with this, but I guess right now is everyone's trying to determine, should OpenAI be held accountable legally for, I don't know, AI advising Anchor how to
kill someone.
It's not funny, but apparently the information wasn't good because he got caught. But still.
Well, did AI advise him on how to do it secretively and not get caught, or did it say, "Hey, use this bullet for this gun"?
To my understanding, it just gave him the best time of day, the ammunition to use, but he did use his own personal weapon. The crazy thing is, he's actually the son of a sheriff's deputy.
Oh. Is that crazy? It is.
It's crazy nowadays, right? But I'm just.
It's interesting, we're talking about gun violence too. It's like, you never know who's going to be in that mindset to where they need to commit such atrocities. You say it's crazy that it's the sheriff's son, but you do see at times where kids are exposed to guns early. They feel like it's needed to solve a problem. Yeah. But at the same time, if they're not exposed early, they could possibly be not taught. They could be taught by someone incorrectly. So the parent may feel, hey, look, listen, let me get this person involved with guns early so they can understand, but that could be a downside. That's a completely different conversation. We're talking about gun violence at that point. With artificial intelligence, it's unfortunate because it's such a good tool to use, and it can be used for things of that nature. We as society, all we can do is, I think, attack the mental health problem, because to try to limit artificial intelligence, which is really just the ultimate information provider, that's going to be tough to do. I mean, it's like limiting Google. I feel like he could have went to Google and did the same thing. It's like, hey, what's the best bullets to use for this gun? If I wanted to shoot a lot of things, what gun will I use, right?
Well, I see what you're saying by saying going to Google, right? You type it in, Google gives you whatever. But if you are a person that, hey Siri, and it's not just you typing in a question or seeking information for an answer, but something speaking back to you, like I'm having this back and forth banter with you right now. It becomes personal. In some people's minds, I think they get to a point where they don't even realize that I'm talking to, this is not even a real person. But you can go on your phone and you can tweak the voice down to the accent, down to man or woman, down to even the nationality in the voice. You can tell they're Hispanic, Black, Caucasian, or whatever the case might be. When you can make something so personable, at what point do you forget that you're not even talking to a real person? That's different from typing something in Google and you got to sit there and read the response versus someone saying, "Hi, Jason. Yes. So the answer to your question is," that's a different beast. That's something different.
You're right. AI does evoke some human emotions. It's not just about giving information, but it's also validating, your feelings and talking to you like it's a actual person, to the point where it could activate a human psyche to make it feel like it's a real person when it's not. And that is unfortunate. It's one of those roadblocks we'll have to get through as society. And I'm not sure how we'll do that. We have a new generation of kids that are coming up and are now going to say that AI is a normal thing. We grew up. This is 2 years old right now. Artificial intelligence. We're still trying to understand what's happening right now.
So fast.
Yeah, but we're about to be exposed to an entire generation of people who are going to think AI is normal. And to what extent is it our responsibility to try to limit AI? There's parental settings, things like that. I believe, like if you have a child who wants to use artificial intelligence, I think you can put on some type of parental settings that says allow this or don't allow this. I'm not entirely sure. If it's not, it should be. You also have other AI models, Gemini, Claude, Grok, that hopefully have those same other settings. But one thing about America, we're free. We're free to do whatever we want. We're free to look up whatever information and go outside and do whatever we want. But in the case when somebody is mentally ill and they're being bullied, or they don't like the way society is working, they feel like they want to take some type of violent action, this was happening before artificial intelligence.
That's true. Well, I concur with that. But
and in terms of should the executives be held accountable, I'm not sure in terms of the entire all of the details that were in the actual chat itself. This is ChatGPT we're talking about. I didn't see the actual screenshots of what they were saying in there. But if it goes in front of a judge and they're trying to make these executives take responsibility for what the algorithm ultimately is outputting, I think there should be some responsibility if there's a language in there like saying, yeah, go kill those people. Oh yeah, they're bullies to you. Oh yeah, take them out. Like we need less people like that in this world. If it's saying some encouraging violence stuff like that, then oh yeah, there needs to be some responsibility.
Well, I think if AI is telling you the best time of day and the ammunition to use,
And
I mean, if that's not encouraging, I don't know what.
What did it mean when it said best time of day? What was the question? Did it say, "Hey, I wanted to kill two people"?
Well, I don't know. I don't have the actual transcript either. But when you reading through the information and and researching this particular topic, it's vague. I would hope that they wouldn't put out the actual question because there's always a copycat.
Quiet on the set. 3, 2, 1.
Are you ready? 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 Are you ready?
Do you know what I'm saying? So, if they were too specific with the details that they shared with us, then, I mean, I get the vagueness there, but we can glean kind of what we think that he would have asked. But for it to tell you this time of day, use this type of ammunition, I'm going to think, because it did say that he used his own personal weapon, assuming, hey, I have this type of gun and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, your mind can go in so many directions when it comes to this topic, and it's really sad.
It's like if the question, if he proposed the question to the AI model saying, "Listen, I'm about to go hunting to kill a bunch of rabbit so that I could have rabbit dinner. And I have this type of gun. What's the best time of day to go hunting, and what type of bullet should I use?" He can bypass that legitimate query through the algorithm, and it gives it a legitimate answer, thinking that he wants to go hunting for food, which is something we do as humans, but it's actually used to go kill people, with AI not knowing that. At that point, I don't think it's the algorithm's problem. I think it's, as it's always been, society's problem. However, like I said, I haven't seen the transcript. If there's something in there in which he's saying, "Hey, I want to go kill some people," what you're trying to do, and it helps him, like, without any type of, even if it does have remorse, to respond to a question like that should not be the case. And I do think the executive should be held liable if that's the case. So I guess we'll see how it develops in court.
I feel like they should be held liable anyway. Because in creating these things, there are so many advanced minds, scientifically, psychologically. I'm sure there are people from a plethora of different professional standpoints that come into creating these types of platforms. That it had to cross someone's mind. I mean, the world we live in now, like you said, this was going on prior to AI. We were already dealing with serial killers and people doing horrific things prior to even Google. Do you know what I mean? So think about how many crimes you have learned about where Google, confiscate the computer or confiscate the phone, and you see their search history. But now we're creating AI. You're not ignorant to the fact that people use technology. If they were using Google to try to find the best way to do things, no one was smart enough to think that AI would be able to. And so how do we still create something that can be a tool, but now it's a tool and a weapon? How do you take the weaponry out of it?
Completely understood. I mean, as I said, it's going to depend highly upon what the queries are and what the guy is actually saying to AI, because he could easily bypass what may seem like a even if you're talking to a human. Let's say you're talking to, I don't know, a therapist, and you're like, and this therapist just happened to be a gun expert, and you ask the therapist, hey, listen, I'm going shooting this weekend with my father, and I have this type of gun. What type of bullet should I use? And he gives you the answer. Oh, these bullets. This works pretty well and everything. And then he goes and commits a mass shooting. Is that therapist held responsible for giving him gun directions and not necessarily mass shooting directions? That's why I feel like it can get really gray. And so, as I said, there should be some responsibility to the executives, but it really depends on a query. If he bypassed the query and asked some legitimate questions that anybody can ask, and it makes sense, then that's fine. Now this kid was 20 years old, so he's old enough
still
to
a kid, though.
He's old enough to own a weapon.
Yeah.
That's the laws here in our Second Amendment here in the U.S. He's like, you can't drink, but you can own a weapon. You can't drink, but you can go to the army. You can go to the military and fight people. So I mean, we kind of put a just the U.S. Constitution itself automatically puts a premium on gun ownership and using guns to defend yourself. But it's really, the Second Amendment is so that the government isn't always in power. We as citizens can bring our arms together to overthrow a corrupt government. That's what it's used for. But it's gotten out of control. People are owning guns before they become emotionally mature, before they can even understand what it means to self-actualize. They already have guns and think that solves the problem. That's a huge issue. AI, is that the reason? Is that the reason it happened because of AI? I can't say that. I'll have to watch the evidence comes out. But if there is evidence that AI actually led him knowing that there were major signs of mental instability and that he may go out and commit atrocities, then I believe those executives should be held accountable also.
So I just had the thought as you're saying that. It's interesting because considering that he is a sheriff's son. Yeah. Imagine the stories that he's heard, the things that his father has seen, the crimes that he's covered, all of those things. When you're saying ask the right questions to deviate the actual intent to throw AI off, he actually has the advantage. Probably because of the knowledge that he's gleaned from his father over the years, probably hearing a plethora of different horrific stories, situations, and things like that. He actually would have the advantage to know to ask it in a more vague way, but still get the result.
Yeah.
If the, you know,
And this is a Gen Z college student we're talking about. It's not like he's dumb, So to be able to trick an algorithm into giving you legitimate answers, but you have different intent. I don't think that's something that a 20-year-old college student is incapable of doing. So yes, his father is a sheriff, and yes, he may have more of a, I will say, understanding of how to maybe manipulate things when it comes to the crime or gun world. I just think that any 20-year-old student with the incorrect mental capacity could have also have committed this crime, sheriff father or not.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think, but like you said, the challenge would be how to set stipulations and parameters on individuals. But does AI have the capacity to know who might be suffering from some type of mental disparity?
We as humans are still discovering that ourselves. Like, to be able to point out mental illness right then and there and say, oh, you're needing this help.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know anybody who can point that out and just be proactive about it instantaneous, like as a human. So to say that an algorithm that we as humans built can do it, I think that's far-fetched and it's overreaching. Now it can take in all the information we know as humans and kind of compile it and then make some type of they've been having a lot of discoveries in the medical field because of that, because you have all of this information, but ultimately it's about bringing it together, and sometimes the intersection of information leads to new discoveries that somebody just haven't thought about yet. So yeah, it's a lot of information to bring together. It's just we're still working on mental illness as a society. We still think that guns are the solution to things. We have rampant homelessness. It's a lot of mental illness issues in society in general. We need to hold ourselves to a higher account before we do artificial intelligence.
Yeah, well, yeah.
In my opinion.
I have no counter to that.
I don't think it needs to be a counter.
Well said.
In local news, the Atlanta scammer.
Oh, yes. That's one right there. But we are going to take a quick break. After this quick message, then we will definitely talk about the Atlanta scammer, because that was quite intriguing and an interesting story to me. So I look forward to hearing your input on that one.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Wake Up Right Morning. Thank you for joining us. Jason and Raina, we're back at it. We're going to be talking about the Atlanta scammer. I'm not sure if you guys heard about that, but Raina, can you tell us a little bit about what happened with that story?
Jonathan Dupeton. I think I'm saying it right. So apparently he is actually the host of a podcast show. Giving podcast a bad name here.
Yeah,
but it was actually entitled Fraud. Fraud. Oh my goodness. And
that's the name of his morning show?
Yes.
His show?
Finally rich after unstoppable determination.
So it's an acronym, fraud. That's crazy.
It did not work for him because he's been stopped. So
wow. That's wild. That's very wild.
So I guess what happened was during COVID, he started a scam using unemployment, taking unemployment benefits, and was able to glean over $3 million worth of unemployment benefits, of which he was able to withdraw $2 million. Him and his whoever was working with him, his counterparts, from ATM machines. So apparently as soon as the benefits were deposited, they would go and withdraw the funds from different ATMs across Georgia. He was caught.
Okay.
And the crazy thing though is that he was previously arrested for fraud with SNAP benefits.
Oh,
so he was still in the EBT. He went to jail for that, was released, started a pot. I guess you know how people think, oh, I learned from my mistakes, now I have to do it better. And he didn't learn anything. Right. Apparently
he went right back to it.
He went right back to it, but
benefit.
worse.
That's
yes.
Wild. And then names his podcast Fraud.
Yes.
Basically,
finally rich after unstoppable determined. Well, he was definitely determined.
Yeah, he was determined. That's wild.
That's crazy.
So it's some layers of craziness to this, because one, to do it, right? You're like, okay, I'm gonna go fraud, scam, to make money.
You didn't do it right the first time, but let me try it again.
Didn't do it right. Did it right, got caught. Then the second time, well, I guess you don't really do it right if you get caught.
You do it right if you got caught.
You do it right? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Get caught, go to jail, gets out. Instead of doing SNAP, he goes unemployment. So he does the same thing, but just a different benefit.
I feel like that's more scrutinized. Like, that's under more scrutiny than SNAP. I mean, I know the government watches everything, but especially during COVID and the unemployment benefits.
There was a lot of other scams.
There were, but do you notice though? Like there's a pattern of this person got caught for this and this and that under all these fake businesses and different things like that, claiming that they had all these employees and stuff and connecting.
PPP loans,
yes,
and EDIL.
yes.
I remember those days.
And now it's coming to bite them in the butt. This is not funny, but it's funny to me. Like, imagine how many people are walking on eggshells right now. Like, damn, I hope they don't.
They don't catch me.
I hope they don't catch me.
It's like you think, okay, the government's big and I'm just a small fish in a pond. If I just do this, I'm not going to get caught.
Somebody's watching.
Somebody's watching, and even if you don't get caught right now, I mean, they just may have a backlog of cases, and they may just be like, you know what, we're going to put this on the radar, see if they do it any bigger. You know, maybe use a small fish to catch a big fish type philosophy. You know, but they're watching out there. The FBI, NSA, you know, they got.
I guess the most ignorant thing to me though is the acronym.
Oh, that's very ignorant.
Like
to market yourself and say, okay, I'm a podcast fraud. And I'm curious. I've never watched any of his podcasts. Was he like talking about ways to scam on his podcast?
That's a good. You know what? We didn't do our homework, right?
We need to tune in.
We're gonna cover this again because I actually should go and look and see.
Because if he's teaching how to scam, then at least we should know about it, not to do it.
Well, don't learn from him though. That's the lesson.
Don't get caught. Yeah.
Maybe don't watch it or watch it and learn what not to do.
Yeah, you know, scamming in general. You know, it's a huge thing that's happening right now, and you know, because everything is digital now. Right, everything is on cards. You're not using a lot of cash. You got a lot of AI. I mean, it's just technology and the digital world itself is increasing scamming substantially, and there's a lot of different ways people are utilizing it. I'm sure you see it all the time on social media, the deep fakes and the AI videos. You know, I could easily right now take my phone, do a selfie video of me and Raina right now. You know, of us just talking, run it through an AI model, and it'll and tell it what to do. I can say, okay, make us do the Macarena, and it'll have us doing it as if it's a real video. And if you don't have the eye for it, you're gonna think that it's a real video. Sometimes AI, what's called hallucinate, in which it'll probably give me 4 or 5 fingers or 6 fingers or something like that, like a glitch. But a lot of the times it looks really real, and you're seeing a lot of this starting to be used for devious reasons.
So just a quick tidbit here. I'm not a huge, scroller or things like that. But what I do sometimes is because I do realize how advanced AI is getting. And like before you could tell. But now it's just so fluid. It's just like you really have to watch to observe and see. So I will actually go on TikTok sometimes with my kids and we'll try to determine, is this real or is this AI? Because like we said earlier, this is a different generation and they're coming up on technology. So I think as parents we have to be proactive, understanding the direction the world is going in, the tools these young adults and children are going to be utilizing in their lives. That you have to have a keen eye. I'm sure at some point it's probably going to be so perfected that you can't tell. But for right now you can. But even if you get into the habit of trying to decipher if something is real or AI, I don't think that could hurt in any type of way, especially if you have children coming up that are constantly using these tools just for their own pleasure, to waste time, also for school research and things like that, to know what's the difference between real and fake. It's kind of like when we were in school, when Google first came out. I remember having to have class, and remember you had to, when you wrote a paper, you had to do a works cited.
Yeah.
And they taught you what was a reputable source.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to do the same thing. It's a little different, but kind of the same thought process.
Yeah.
Is this reputable or is this fictitious?
You have to confirm your sources even more nowadays than ever. With AI and with fraud, it's like when something seems too good to be true, you gotta almost assume that it is. especially nowadays, because people are using whatever technology is available in order to do any type of scheme, scam, in order to put themselves on top, and with no regard of getting caught. There's a there's ways that people are accessing other people's accounts, or maybe opening up a credit card in someone's name, or stealing their digital credit card code and then use it to buy things before erasing their history so they can get away scot-free or something like that.
It reminds me of that Jason Statham, Beekeeper. Did you see that movie, The Beekeeper?
Yeah, The Beekeeper, yeah.
With
Exactly.
Felicia Rashad.
He was defending the older people.
And he was acting like something was wrong with her computer, but her not knowing was retired, but I'm giving a whole synopsis of the movie here, so I won't tell the whole thing. But they were able to scam her into log onto your computer and open up this account so we can stop this virus or whatever, and instantly wiped her out millions till she killed herself. And that it does, depending on the level of fraud and what exactly is being committed, could do some serious damage to people. And that's unfortunate because it's done with such callousness and no remorse. Because as long as I come out on top, as long as I get what I'm aiming for, I don't care about what it does to you. So.
And the world is interconnected too. So you could have a Chinese organization whose aim is to target American retirees, the baby boomers who have this nice huge nest egg, and they're just trying to look to get it distributed to their to their kids, or to try to protect it in a will or something like that. And all it takes is answering the wrong phone call, somewhat with a disingenuous motive, saying things like, "Hey, we just want to make sure that your money's protected, make sure that you're legally just say these things that sound good," and then the person. And let's be honest right here. The baby boomers, they didn't grow up in a generation of technology and high concentration of scammers, so they're more susceptible to believe in things like that. And even if they're not, all it takes is like 1 in 100 of them to say yes. I mean, the baby boomers is a huge generation with billions of dollars of accumulated wealth throughout their lifetime sitting there. All you got to do is get a 10% of that, and that's $100 million. So just get there are whole organizations that are being formed to do things like this. And I think it also kind of leads into the topic of it's one of the reasons that we're in trade war with China right now, is because a lot of these foreign countries aren't being held accountable for damages that they're maybe doing to Americans, because the jurisdiction right there. They can call us, but the FBI can't go into Pakistan and arrest someone. And so I think that fact in itself is really it's a huge driver to the scamming epidemic. But this guy right here, he's an Atlanta native. He's just doing the most.
He's just a regular dude that was like, let me find my way. And he found a way.
Yeah, he's
twice.
In jail. Yeah.
Got caught twice. So he is actually sentenced to 7 years.
Okay.
3 years of supervision when he is released.
Okay.
And has to pay back restitution.
Oh, that's a lot of money to pay
back.
I'm sure he spent it on
I'm sure he blew through that. Man, what? As soon as he did the withdrawal, he's like, we going out tonight.
How you gonna pay back what's not there? It's like they got to garnish the wages for the rest of his life, and
What wages though?
Exactly. What wages?
What you got now?
I like to apply for this job. Oh yeah, I scam millions. Yeah, that's nothing.
What does his resume look like?
Oh goodness. So it's gonna be tough for him. But listen, the scamming is a real thing out there, and it's happening more than often. more and more often. I'm sure you guys get all of these unlimited calls to your phone throughout the day. I'm not saying that all of them are scammers, but be wary of someone asking for your social security number and things of that nature, asking for any personal information or doing anything that may seem urgent. Hey, if you got to do it now, or otherwise it's gonna, any of that stuff. Be very wary of it. They just need 1 or 2 people to answer the phone before they make their salary, probably for a year. So just be wary of that.
I think some of the best things to know are places like the IRS will never call you and ask for your information. They're going to send something in the mail. Normally bank representatives are not going to call you regarding your account, or like I have Capital One, and a lot of times the banks are good with, hey, we stopped your card, was this you? Or there are certain online banks that will say, we didn't make this call. Like I have one in particular, and I'll log on and they'll say, we didn't call you, this was not us. So I would say be very aware. Definitely, if you didn't call your institution personally, I definitely would not give out any pertinent personal information about yourself to anyone who calls you.
Yeah,
I think that's the best advice that I could give. And I mean, even for this generation now, that if you have elderly parents or grandparents, even just take the time to make them aware, because they are generally the more susceptible victims of this type of situation, because they're probably not on social media. They're old school, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna get up and watch the news, and we don't have newspapers delivered anymore or anything like that, so they may be very much less aware of what's going on in the world. So inform your family. Like, if you know, take the time to let your loved ones know, hey, don't do this. If you scam likely, don't answer it. Numbers you don't everything's scam likely, right? If it's numbers that you don't recognize or don't have programmed in your phone from an institution that you personally work with, no, I just don't even answer. Because I do know that sometimes they will call and just to have you, like you said, record your voice. You say hello or something so many times, they get the tone, the fluctuation of your words, your verbiage, and they can run with that. So we definitely have to be very much on guard, very much aware to protect ourselves.
That's facts. And as we spoke about, AI is making this even more prevalent. Being able to take people's face or audio and just make it into something different. That's we are in the future right now. All right. So also, I've been hearing people who are now I see online people kind of accept the scammer culture because the banks pay for it, right? So if someone steals my credit card and buys a PS5 with it, and I call Capital One, I say, hey, what's this? I didn't do this. They'll take the charge off, but the guy still gets his PS5, and I get my money back, and the bank ultimately takes the loss. And they kind of use that as a way of sticking it to the man or sticking it to the institutions. And that's a just understand that that's a dangerous game to play.
I think with that, it's even like you're saying with banks, they're not ignorant to the fact that this is happening. Someone is already behind the scenes trying to figure out a way to stop it. It's just a matter of time. I mean, there are ways to, hide VPN numbers where you bought something from, and whatever the case might be, but someone's figuring it out. This is not gonna go on forever, that you can always just say, oh, that wasn't me, or whatever the case might be. At some point, I do believe that there will be a stop to that, because these institutions they're losing millions every year to stuff like that. They're not going to keep taking that loss.
No, they're going to find a way to make it happen. And what's really important is that the banking system itself has what's called FDIC, in which if somebody steals money out of your account, they'll insure it up to, I think, 100,000 or 10,000, 100,000 or 10,000.
Depending on your institution. Yes.
Depending on your institution, that's an insurance that's paid for by the banks, It comes directly out of their account, and they pay for it, and they put out a big pile of money all together in order to insure people so that there's not a run on the banks, and so people can feel comfortable with the financial institutions. So people are kind of using that as another reason of scamming. Also, it's like, oh, well, your FDIC, sure, it's ultimately the bank's paying for it, and you'll see people using that as a reasoning behind them doing it. This kind of goes into a little bit of the mentality of thinking that, hey, we've been wronged so much by the higher powers that it's time to take back the power by committing these type of crimes or whatever like that. And you're probably going to see that happening more and more and often nowadays, especially for who's in office and the political divide and the growing unrest between the have and have nots. It's becoming more of a logical thing. It's like, oh, let's just scam them. They take it from us, we need to take from them, and actually have a almost as if a Robin Hood type mentality on it. So I see it getting even more prevalent. Just don't become a victim to what's going on out there.
I agree.
All right. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back after these segments.
Welcome back to Wake Up Bright. This is our last segment that we want to cover today. We want to talk about the famous Atlanta Beltline, which is 22 miles of trails that connects, I think it's like 45 neighborhoods in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some really good developments going on. It's already such a beautiful section of the city. Atlanta is like, you have the city of Atlanta and then all of the pocket cities around it, but I don't care how far you are from the city, everyone comes to the Beltline at least at some point to visit. What are the developments going on? I know there's like some constructions and things going on to improve something that's already so beautiful. I don't know how much better they can make it, but
if you haven't been downtown Atlanta, you're always seeing construction everywhere. It's not just the Beltline. Remember, we have the Soccer World Cup, FIFA World Cup coming to Atlanta. And so, remember the 96 Olympics, they tried to do all they could in order to just improve Atlanta to make it a good tourist destination. The same type of development projects are happening right now. A lot of money is being put into making roads better, actually making the downtown area look a little bit more appealing, fixing holes in the road and things of that nature. And the Atlanta Beltline itself, it's such a wonder of Atlanta, the way that it connects different neighborhoods and kind of makes a nice walking trail or scootering or biking and on a trail stop by all type of restaurants or different type of businesses. It's a really brilliant way of connecting the community, especially given the traffic that we have here in Atlanta. And I'm not sure if you've been here. Well, you probably have, your audience.
It's
chaos.
All day long.
All day, every day, yes. So, anything that we can spend money on to increase the throughput of traffic, take my tax dollars now, because I do not like sitting in that traffic. It's even worse.
So, I'm really bad. I time everything that I'm going to do. I don't live in the actual heart of the city. I'm in the suburbs south of the city. But if I have to go to the city, I time it like, okay, rush hour starts here, so let me hurry up and be there before the rush hour.
Exactly, rush hour.
All right, I'll do what I got to do in the pocket. All right, then it's going to die down around this time. Let me hurry up and get back.
You got to consider that.
To avoid, yes.
And those who get up and go to work every morning and come home from work, this is something that's going to be huge for you. So right now, they have there's a I-20 and 285 connector So if you're, getting off 285 to get on I-20 or vice versa, they're building this huge bridge over there. It's expected to be done by 2030, but it's supposed to help and increase that throughput so that people can get on and get off a little bit easier. So if you're driving up that area, 285 north towards 20, you'll probably see a big bridge somewhere on the left side being built. They just started it looks like, but hopefully it helps with that traffic over there because it can get really crazy. They're also doing some new express lanes in 285. Listen, we all know that as many lanes in 285 as possible. Go ahead and make it happen because no matter, it's a circle in which there's a lot of exits, but I always still feel like it's traffic there. So they're going to be bringing some express lanes.
I was going to say they should put the Peach Pass. It's not on
Pass.
285, but that Peach Pass would definitely be lucrative for the city.
I lived in Florida for 10 years, and I had me a Sun Pass, so I didn't have to stop and pay tolls, and I felt like it was always a great money spent. And for some reason, I didn't get a Peach Pass when I got back to Georgia, and I feel like, as much as I drive and as much as I hate traffic, I should pay for it, and I haven't.
Me without the Peach Pass.
Yeah, we're gonna catch
the right time, I be on that lane looking at everybody like,
exactly, just passing them. That's It's nothing better. They're also doing a $2 billion expansion of the I-75 South. All right, and when you're exiting the city, you're going 75 south towards McDonough. It can get real constricted over there. You feel like you're trying to leave town and go to Florida. You're probably going to be stuck in that area in the Eagles Landing and that area. It's really small and constricted, so they're expanding that. And
because it loses a lane, I think that's one of the reasons why once you hit Hudson Bridge, you lose a lane. I think that definitely contributes to the congestion that builds up.
For sure, and they probably need to add a couple lanes over there because it gets real congested over there. And people want to move in Atlanta, but the suburbs is kind of like you get the Atlanta feel a little bit, but you ain't got to be right there in the city. And the city's only 25 minutes away. So the bigger Atlanta gets, which is getting bigger, the more people are going to want to live on the outskirts, and it's important that those expressways are expanded. They're also doing an I-75, 85 modernization and lighting improvements, so it could be a night. So when you're driving at nighttime and it's real dark in that area, they're lighting it up and making it look better. So it's a lot of projects we have going on right now. That's just 85, 285, 75, but also they're expanding downtown. They're trying to. There's an area over there called the Glutch. I think that's what it's called. Sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly, but they're attempting to create what's called Centennial Yards out of it. It's a $5 billion project. What they're doing is they're trying to add affordable housing, try to make it an area where businesses can come and build to where it just looks better. A lot of this is for FIFA. A lot of this is so when people come into the downtown area, everywhere they look, it seems like it's modern. It's upbeat. A lot of businesses, people are going to want to invest in there. Anything that it looks a little run down or old, they're trying to improve right now. So, all of these projects we've been talking about, that's about $12.3 billion that's expected to be spent over the next 5 years. A lot of it is going to be spent this year in 2026 to get ready for the FIFA World Cup coming, but I'm not sure how you feel about it, but anytime we're making our city better and our our roads and things like that, I'm all for it.
So whenever you need relief from body aches, muscle spasms, and pain, grab Q-Merch Vapor Rub. It's part of their new Healing Butter line. I'm all for it too, but why does it take a world-known event?
To make it actually
the Olympics, FIFA. I remember going through Indianapolis, I believe, when the Super Bowl was there. And just seeing the construction on the roads there, like the way cities prepare, brand new hotels come up. People that have the ability to capitalize on these situations, kudos to them. But then I wonder, when the event is over, what happens then? Like, you went through all of the effort to do all of these things. Does it still remain lucrative when the reason why you did all of this new infrastructure, do you continue to monopolize off of it, or does it stagnate or decline?
Now, that's a very interesting point. I think what's happening is that with the revenue coming in from the foreign tourists, from people coming in to see the World Cup, they're using that increase in revenue to offset the immediate cost right now, so that they can offset each other like currently, and then going forward, since you're actually building quality things such as plazas for buildings or housing, affordable housing, from there it just those investments become lucrative because people want to move to Atlanta and want to have something nice. So I think it's more like a timing thing. It's like let's let this influx of foreign dollars be our our catalyst. Exactly. I took the words right off my mouth. Our catalyst to making these investments right now, and then long term we're going to benefit, and then that's pretty cool. Also, they're doing a $200 million upgrade to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
That's already really nice.
It's all really, really nice. You've been to Mercedes-Benz? That's nice. I feel like a superstar every time I pull up there. I'm not sure what type of renovations they're making, but it is in the heart of downtown. So, I mean, if we're going to have a crown jewel right there in the downtown, maybe those upgrades are needed. I don't know. I haven't seen exactly what they're going to be making. But for such a huge facility, $200 million feels like, honestly, a maintenance cost, probably, to keep it upkeep. Yeah. And then also the Atlanta Airport is getting an upgrade also. They're going to be adding new terminals and making huge investments in that. And the Department of Transportation in general allocating about $58.6 million towards different initiatives to help the airport and roads and things of that nature become more to upgrade those. So we're looking at about $12.3 billion in investments. And hopefully those things pay off very well.
Well, if nothing else, we know we got some money in Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly. We got some money in Atlanta. So hopefully they don't increase our property taxes to do that. Some of the funding sources, they're getting the sales tax dollars, but also there's been a lot of private funding coming in. People who want to get in. This is Atlanta we're talking about. If there's an opportunity to make an investment on a huge project and potentially make a nice return on that, there's some private investors coming in. Also, just different other funding sources such as government bonds and things of that nature, and also federal funding is being used in order to do this. They're saying, hey, listen, FIFA's coming. There's people coming from around the world, so federally, since Atlanta's going to be one of those states, those cities that are going to be hosting, let's invest some money from the federal budget into it, also to ensure that safety and things of that nature is up to the standards that we want to communicate to the rest of the world. So Atlanta, we're going to be on the stage for this summer, but I think hot Atlanta has never been too hot to handle anything.
Who is gonna definitely be happy right now? Anyone with a VRBO or an Airbnb. I'm sure the prices have definitely been hiked up exponentially, but people are gonna pay it.
Oh yeah.
They're but you're paying for the experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
you're definitely paying for the experience.
If you got you a rental property, get it ready.
It
might be
worth it.
Yeah,
Right.
It might be time to make those renovations right now because
it's gonna pay off.
You can up the price.
Yes.
When people are here, so that's gonna be nice. Verbo, that's like Airbnb.
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now, have you noticed anything being at the Atlanta airport in terms of construction or I guess anything when it comes to travel that you feel like if Atlanta spent more money on it, it could be better and make us a better travel destination city?
I can't say that I have, because generally when I go to the airport, I go straight to my gate, not really meandering around the airport to see what's going on. I do believe that it's already a very beautiful airport, and I've been to a few, and it is definitely one of the nicer ones. It is very vast. It covers a good amount of land space, and upgrades that have already been made to concourses makes it very wide, very vibrant open spaces, a lot of light. I don't know how they could make it any more beautiful.
Yeah, well, apparently
they more concourses, that's going to increase the traffic that's already huge airflow into Atlanta. people that travel know that with the airline, there's rush hour just like in the car. You'll be supposed to land at a certain time and feel like the plane's just sitting still because you're in a holding pattern, because it's that particular time when a lot of planes are coming in from different cities, coming in internationally, and you have to have the space for the runway and the time that it takes. It would be interesting to see how adding more to the airport will work out to one that's already one of the busiest airports in the world.
Yeah, I mean, do we want to expand the facilities, or are all the delays due to, I don't know, mechanical failures or lack of TSA? Can this increase in facility area actually make the airport run more efficient because there's more spaces, more runways? I'm not sure how that works, but maybe
we're gonna find out.
Also, we have $120 million being invested into downtown neighborhood areas to make them, look better and connect the neighborhoods more. Those are those neighborhoods that are right there, more in the midtown and the drawing a blank right here, the east side. What is that? Drawing a blank, but like the east side area of Atlanta, they're investing $120 million in order to modernize all of those houses and things of that nature also. So we're seeing a lot of money flow, and we're going to see how that works out. All right. Stay tuned for more Wake Up Right.
This Shea Honey Black Moisturizer Soap lathers up really nice, and my skin feels clean and soft. It's like a 2-for-1, cleans and moisturizes at the same time. I like it. Well, welcome back to Wake Up Bright. We hope that you have enjoyed this segment with us so far. We've covered quite a few topics going on, not only nationally, but also here in the city of Atlanta. So before we conclude the show, Jason is going to talk to you about some community outreach opportunities that we think that some of you might find of interest.
Yeah, some community resources. What we want to do here on Wake Up Right is just be able to give you a better chance at, getting things done in life. Sometimes things may be hard. You have different resources that the community offers, such as the Atlanta Volunteer Lawyers Foundation. This is a actual organization for in Fulton County that provides free legal services in Fulton County for low-income tenants or survivors of a domestic abuse. The reason this is so important is because you're always going to. There's a lot of times, especially in the low income level, when people find themselves in a legal situation, but they look in their pocketbook, it's like, I got to pay for a lawyer for this, and they would rather just take the L instead of having to go through that entire that entire legal process. But this organization offers services for people that are facing evictions, unsafe housing conditions, domestic violence, family issues, landlord disputes, or emergency legal services for vulnerable families. They've helped with nearly 40,000 evictions on a yearly basis. All right. In 2024 alone, they did 5,400 pro bono hours. All right, just helping people out, expecting not to get paid for it. They have 650 volunteers that they're partnering with, and they've assisted over 5,400 clients in 2024 alone. This is one of those resources where it's like, I'm not sure if you experienced in the past, but like you got evictions and things of that, abuse and things of that nature, and it's easy to say, I'm just going to go on with my life, but you deserve legal help also, and that's what this organization is for. And I just know of people who have gone through unfair practices all the time and feel like they're, because of their position that they're in, they feel helpless. And this kind of gives hope a little bit.
That's unfortunate, but I definitely think that's definitely a wonderful service, because like you said, some people do just chalk it up as a loss. Unfortunately, even if you know that you are in the right or the law would be on your side, but not being able to afford legal representation definitely would add to whatever situation they're already having you, stressed in an unfortunate position. So definitely a great resource.
Yeah.
Definitely a great resource. So.
And if you ever feel like you're in that position, it's free consultations. Just hit them up. They'll talk about it. It may come down to where they can't help you. They maybe can, but it's a free resource. So for sure, just it's worth a try. Yeah, it's worth a try. All right. Well, that's all for today's show. Thank you for tuning in with the Wake Up Right Morning Show with Raina and Jason. It's great seeing you. We'll see you next time.
For you night owls out there, we would like you to tune in to the Woke at Midnight on QDN Network for another show, just maybe talking about some more hot topics.
Hot maybe
maybe a little controversial.
Get a little spicy.
Get a little spicy, a little opinionated.
Yeah.
But also we would like to have interaction to, get your feedback during the conversation or after to see what you think. So definitely Woke at Midnight. Sounds like grown situation. Talking about grown topics.
Oh, yeah.
So tune in on QDN Network. Once again, that's Woke at Midnight. Thank you for joining us here at Wake Up Right. This is Jason and Raina, and we'll see you next time.